Well, folks, as you probably read on the tag for the video, yeah, this is something that I was not planning to make today. It's very saddening news that you know the world has basically lost Darth Vader. Literally, I mean, yeah. Shall I say, to quote Kevin Smith, the man left a huge bucket of wind. That's quote unquote. Um. Anyways, but yeah. So James Earl Jones, of course, we all know who he is. Millions of us, people who obviously grew up with the original series of Star Wars, as well as the prequels and everything else. He was of course, the voice of Darth Vader. But not only that, though, he was just a great actor and legendary screen presence, both on and off the screen, as well as a huge television career, as well as also a theater actor as well. He portrayed King Lear early on in his career, and of course, you just can't forget that baritone voice of his, which is so iconic. Um, I mean, what can I say? I mean, it's really saddened that he is gone, but thankfully, though, um, the best part is, I mean, obviously, it's not really the best part, but, in my opinion, if you pass away from natural causes, you didn't have cancer, you didn't have any of that stuff, you know, in my opinion, that's the way I would want to go out. It's just my natural causes. But now he's up there. Obviously he's no longer with us, but he's you know awaiting his turn at the holy gates, and basically just to see wherever we come in the world. You know, for the next James Earl Jones, whenever that does happen. In the life of humanity. But yeah, I mean, but he's not only was he obviously the voice of Darth Vader. Obviously, that's but I mean, he's left a huge amount of different films that he's portrayed in. Of course, he's also known for Conan the Barbarian as Tulsa Doom. Of course, being in the Jack Ryan films as James Greer. Um, Specifically in Hunt for Red October, Patriot Games, and Clear Present Danger. I mean, he's made television, appearances on, Frasier, even The Simpsons, even voicing the moving man, who of course is in the first Treehouse of Horror episode, which is he's the guy that tells Homer that he's glad that there's a curse on the house that Homer purchases in that episode. But also, he was also the narrator for um, the Raven sequence in that episode. But I mean, but also that though, I mean, Coming to America as well. I mean, personally, and also one of my absolute few favorite films of him involves, obviously the probably one of the greatest sports ever invented, baseball. He was Mr. Myrtle, and of course in the Sandlot, films, at least the first one and the second one. But he was also Terrence Mann in I think probably the greatest baseball film ever made, Field of Dreams. When you watch that film and you watch his performance, you're wondering how did he not get an Oscar for that? But yeah, I mean, 93, man. I mean, what do you do? I mean, not only that though. I mean, yes, 93, but also for us Disney fanatics, of course, voiced, can't leave out Mufasa. I mean, if it wasn't for him, Lion King probably wouldn't have been as popular as it was or as it did become. But I mean, when you cast an actor who has a voice like his, I mean, you just don't know what you're gonna get. But I mean, it's just really, really saddening, of course, that we have lost James Earl Jones. You know, I mean, but also, he's uh, also the voice of, well, obviously, CNN will obviously never be the same because, he voiced that like iconic, 2 second, sentence. This is CNN. But I mean, it's it's just amazing of how much stuff that he's done over the years. And of course, his film debut, of course, was in a Stanley Kubrick film, which is Doctor Strangelove. If you want to check that out, but it's just kind of interesting. As I'm currently right now, I'm actually looking at his bio via Wikipedia, and I just find it interesting that he actually is. I mean, not just an actor as well, but he's also a uh, man of service, as in he served in the military during the Korean War. It looks like, but looks like he was in the 38th Regiment combat team, and but he apparently he was prior to his discharge, he was a first lieutenant. Very interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's just very, very sad that he is gone. Thankfully, technology is now where if you need to have a Darth Vader voice, obviously it can be done by AI by now. But there's just something about hearing that voice coming through those speakers and that sound just gives it more of a professional, um, you know, thing or whatever. But what can we say? I mean, it's obviously very, very sad. May he ever rest in peace. This is the second. This is a huge nail for Star Wars fans. I mean, obviously, in my opinion, probably the first one that really hit, they really hit the surface. Of course, was the passing of Carrie Fisher. But now that you have literally, the guy that basically saved Star Wars when it comes to villains, you know, I mean, this hurts. It hurts that whenever anybody leaves this world, but but when you have an actor that you yourself, not just as a film fan, but that basically when you've grown up with so many different, shows and films, you got Jurassic Park, as in, Star Wars. Now, obviously, he wasn't in Jurassic Park, but he was hosted the making of scenes where they shot him at I think it was a museum of science and industry, I think, or somewhere. But you know, sadly though, but yeah, he will sadly be missed, and shall he ever rest in peace? 93 years old. So with that, you guys, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below for whatever your favorite role that James Earl Jones was of yours growing up. And so with that, you guys, take care. Hopefully things will get better as life goes on, obviously. But, so may he ever rest in peace. Good man.